Hello, this is Steve from Beaute's Leatherworks, and today's project is this cool Louis Vuitton bag. From the looks of it, it's seen its better days. Looks like it's pretty well worn. Somebody's favorite, obviously. So basically we're going to completely disassemble it, change the lining, make new handles, new chaps. All the exterior pockets need to be taken apart and relined and reassembled. Stitched up wherever it needs to be stitched up, new pipings, and basically just complete restoration of the entire bag. All right, let's get started. All right, here goes nothing. Notice the customer was wearing these at the last hole. We might make this a little bit longer for her. She can still use it at that hole, but she'll have another option, you know, to make it a little bit longer. Since we're going to be making completely new ones, we can make them a little longer. First things first, we got to remove remove the lining out of the bag, and we're going to use Mr. Ripper. Basically, it's just this top seam right here holds the lining in the bag. Normally, whenever I work on something, I know what, I know what I'm doing as far as the completed picture in my head, you know? But it happens at times when you start, it kind of takes you in a different direction. Not a bad direction, just a different direction. You just have to kind of improvise and trying to redo what you got to do. And simply, that's it. Okay, that should... Now we can have access to the bag inside. So whenever you're disassembling a bag, you've got side gussets, bottom piece, another side gusset attached to the front and back. You've got to have some guidelines, okay, where when you're stitching the two back together, you got to have the guidelines meet each other, or else at the end, it's not going to be even, okay? So before we take it apart, we're just going to simply put, this is a waxed pen. We can clean that off, that's not a problem. Now, the bag has got to be turned inside out to be stitched. So these marks aren't going to be visible when you're stitching it. So you simply, when you take it apart, reverse those marks and put them on the inside. So it's easier for you to reassemble it back. And then once you reassemble it, everything should be lined up if you're stitching it with the guidelines. There's not too many, just a couple of them here and there. Now these older bags are pretty difficult to turn inside out, right? When they're old, they're kind of little, they're dry, and you don't want to do more damage than what you're trying to do in the repairs. So when it comes time to, when the bag is turned inside out and I stitch it and I'm going to turn it right side out, I'm going to heat it up a little bit to warm that up a little, because there's no way I'm going to be able to turn it outside in, whatever you want to call that, without struggling. So once everything is stitched together, we'll do that. Now we have to remove, you know, the side pieces in order to get to the piping, because the piping needs to be replaced. So kind of this job isn't kind of twofold, right? We do the exterior work here, and then we'll jump into the lining, take that apart and make a pattern and put some new leather on there. So hopefully everything will come back together, make it look like a purse again. I hope so. Sometimes I wonder myself. Yeah, taking things apart is the easy thing, man. See, that's it. That's all that is to it on that. That's the thing. You got to be careful. You can't put the same marks on both sides, right? Or else you're going to get confused if the bag is going to get turned around. So this side, you see, you got 1, 2, and 3. This side has 3 also, but they're spaced differently. You see, it's not the same as that. Also for the bottom, I've got 4 marks on the one side and then 3 marks on the other. Okay, this way you don't get confused how that center gusset goes, because when everything's apart, it's very easy to kind of get confused and you know where everything goes. So this way, it's kind of less confusing once you start assembling things back together. Let's continue. Now we go through basically cleaning up all the threads that we cut. Yeah, that's the tedious part about this job. You know, I mean, do I have to clean it up? Well, yeah. I mean, you know, you don't want all these little pieces. See all those pieces? That looks ugly, right? Can't leave that like that. So yeah, you got to clean it up. It's just part of the process, you know. This is a crepe rubber. Rub across the stitches, the friction kind of picks it up, but it doesn't pick up everything. You just have to kind of go a little at a time. Now people ask me that, you know, where did you learn how to do all this work? You know, my dad, well, he never did this kind of stuff. I mean, he just repaired shoes, basic shoes. It wasn't nothing like that we're doing now. Oh my God, if he saw what we're doing now, his head would be spinning, you know? But my brother, Yeah, the one who passed on. He was a genius at making bags. So watching him throughout the years, and just kind of practicing and practicing. Now don't forget, I've been doing this for a while now. I'm 55, and my dad's been gone for 30 plus years. So I've been running the shop, you know, since then. And even before he was around, I was helping him out, and I would take in bags and repair them. I guess I was in my early 20s. I used to go pick up work from other repair shops, and we would divide the money, you know. I would repair it and take it back to them. For a while I did like wholesale shoe repair from like dry cleaners that I would pick up from. I had, this when I was about 18, 19, I had about 8 or 9 accounts. I would make 2 deliveries a week. I would pick up first week, you know, like a Monday, and then deliver it on Friday, finished work. And just kind of make my round around the city, delivering it. But I didn't really care for that kind of a job, you know, because that was like wholesale work was not detailed work, you know. Because most people who take their shoes to dry cleaners, I mean, I shouldn't say they don't know the quality repairs. I don't think they really care. They just come back with shiny soles or shiny shoes and they're happy, you know. But most of the time, those cleaners do not do the high quality repairs, basic work and stuff like that, you know. So that's what I did for many years. And then, you know, took over Dad's shop, and I was 24 when he passed away. So I had to run the shop by myself. My brother was helping me, then my other brother was helping me. And we kind of made a decision that both of us couldn't work together. You know, it was just something that it was going to be either me or it was going to be him. And he said, well, you do it then, and I'll go do something else. I'm like, okay. Once you decide, you're done. That's it. There's no coming back. I mean, I told him the same thing. You can run the shop if you want. You know, it's not. Don't worry about me. I can. If you put me in a desert, I'll sell sand to the nomads. You know. I can make it work. So that was 30 plus years ago, and I've been running it since. But lately, these past few years with the YouTube channel, wow, it has completely like blown up. 2019 was my busiest year. I literally had no help then. I was doing everything by myself. No counter help, no guys in the back helping with the shoes. Nothing. So, and from the looks of it now, it looks like it's going to go back to that schedule too, because employees are really hard to keep, you know. I don't know why. I just, you know, I pay them pretty well. I'm not abusive. I'm got a pretty good atmosphere, work atmosphere, you know. But they just come and go, you know. So I think pretty soon that it's going to be a little hectic on my schedule, where I have to do everything by myself again. We'll make it work. It is what it is. We just have to deal with situations that come up in life. That's all it is. There's a will, there's a way. All right, let's continue. So the magnet closures are pretty much gone here, okay? So we don't have another one that is going to be a Louis Vuitton one, I hate to say. We're going to put something similar on there. It'll still work, but it's just not going to have the LV lettering on it. These parts, I mean, this bag's got to be over 30, 40 years old. Maybe not that much, but. Yes, I know, I need a new bit, whatchamacallit. Try to get as much as I can out of that. What you talking about, Willis? All right, one more. Cool, let's continue. Man, look at this mess. This is not even taking the interior part. We're still just on the exterior. Jeez, what a mess. All right, so we've got most of our pockets apart. All the threads have been cleaned. Center gusset. Side panels. So we're getting there slowly but surely. We haven't even begun to get to the interior yet. And we will. All right, let's continue. I don't need no stinking iron. I got my iron right here. Stinking iron. But you guys don't remember what movie that was from. I don't need no stinking badge. Second time I'm cleaning it, that's the first time. See, it's pretty dirty. But if you look, let's see if I can turn this around. If you look at the middle area right here, color is pretty light. Look at the edges. I think this is a better example here. This is where the pocket was. You see how brand new that looks? Look at that compared to that. Yeah, it's pretty rough. But there's only so much I can do with that. Now once I get done with it, it'll look much better. It's just that this is what you got to work with. All right, let's continue. All right, so we've got our opening for the magnets, okay? This is the aftermarket magnet. You say that a little fast. Aftermarket magnet. And unfortunately, it's going to be a little loose for the hole. Even though if we open these prongs in the back to the outside like that, okay, it's still not going to work. So what we're going to do, we're going to put almost like a piece of leather in the back. We're going to stitch it in a circle and then put that in there. Now trick is you got to stitch it right on the edge here. So when that magnet comes on top, you don't see the stitch, which will look something like that. I did the exact same thing the way I explained to you guys the other one. And now we've got our magnet in and you can barely see the stitches on the sides. Okay, Let's continue. All right, so we got our leather cut for the straps. Okay, we need front and back, obviously. So we got 4 pieces there for the handles. We've got 2 pieces for the piping. And this long piece is going to be for the buckle pieces. Now we're going to have to tint them a little bit to get them to look like, you know, similar to what this is, this honey color. As close as possible. As long as all the leather matches, I think it'll be in good shape. All right, let's continue. Now, by the time I got this concoction right, so it's Fiebings dye, yellow, tan, and light brown mixed together. how much of each, you know what, you need to play around with it. Every bag is different. Every patina is different, so you gotta play with it and see what you come up with. Come up with your own concoction. Now this is just one part of the, you know, process. You need to condition it. You need to add some creams. There's a lot of little things you got to do. It's not just one type of mixing some dyes and being done with it. What I'm using is a cordless airbrush. If you go on Amazon, just put in cordless airbrush. It'll come up, I think it's like 50 bucks. I like it. I have a few of them. I also have the one that's run by the compressor. These are very convenient. Get it in and out, you know, no time. All right, I won't bore you with more dyes. Let's continue. Well, we're finally to the lining. Man, that was a lot of work on that bag. Well, on the other part of the bag, I should say. The exterior of the bag. This should be easy to go now. I think this is the easy part of the job. Cutting a couple of pieces, stitch them together, and then putting this back into the bag and stitch it and be done with it. Woo! There's a lot of work on that one. All right, let's continue. All right, we've got the lining done. I think that was like the easiest part compared to that outer shell. My goodness, man. Okay. And the only thing we got to do now is to slide this in. Make sure we got the front and back. That's the front. Okay. We're going to glue this in place. Stitch it. Touch it up here and there, condition it, and then we are done with this project. It took a long time. It's been a long day. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. All right, so as you can see, all new piping, new handles, handle posts, lining, outer pocket linings, magnet closures, and then just kind of general cleaning and conditioning, and brought this bag back to life. I think she's going to be very happy with it. Well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it once again. If you guys have any questions, email me, beatos@yahoo.com. And if you have a project in mind, just send some pictures with it. That way we don't go back and forth a couple of times before we get to the point. That helps me out a lot. That way it saves me a little bit of time to check my emails. All right, so if you haven't subscribed, please do so. A thumbs up and comment, share as much as you want. All right, thanks again for joining me. We'll see you guys again on the next project. Take care.